was asked by my team to present a presentation that is all about the animals in our lives. And Young Living recognises that so many people want to know more about how they can help their animals live a chemical-free life. So I have put together this presentation that is all about the essential oils that came out at Convention 2014, as well as a few other products that have been in the range for a little bit longer, the Animal Sense ointment and the Animal Sense shampoo. So firstly, we're just going to go over some basics about essential oils, because I understand that people that are at this presentation or watching this on YouTube at a later stage may not be aware of what we do and why we're so passionate about our brand, Young Living.
Help their animals live a chemical-free life.
Oops.
So
I probably need to close that first. Sorry for that. I'm a novice in this, and my husband is playing a game, so he hasn't been here to help me. So let me just go back to this. Okay, my apologies. I probably need to have the YouTube closed. I will know that for next time. Okay, so now we will get started. And I can't hide that stupid box for some reason. Okay, good. So just a quick disclaimer, I am not a medical professional. Any advice given here is based on personal experiences. None of the information contained within this presentation is designed to prescribe, diagnose, or treat specific illnesses. So if you have any questions or your pet has any specific needs that you probably need to go to a vet for, go to a vet. It's always a good idea to get a diagnosis from a professional and then look at how you want to treat more naturally. So what are essential oils? Essential oils are highly concentrated aromatic liquids. They can be derived from shrubs, flowers, roots, trees, bushes, herbs, and seeds. So essentially, the whole plant can be used in one way or another to create an essential oil, depending on what the plant is. These liquids defend plants from insects, harsh environmental conditions, and disease. They're known as the lifeblood of the plant, and they're the plant's natural defense mechanism. So very similar in the human body to our lymphatic system that protects us from disease. Our immunity builds up and it protects us from certain communicable diseases. The essential oil within a plant is very similar to that, in that it is the immunity of the plant. Essential oils have been used since ancient times, and they are renowned for their preventative and health-giving properties. So a little bit on the history of essential oils. It's no secret, most people would have, the first exposure you would have had to essential oils for a lot of people is hearing the Christmas story. Jesus was bought frankincense and myrrh. I thought myrrh was a hilarious word when I was younger. It was spelt funny. I had no idea what it was. And when I started to look into Young Living and started to experiment and learn more about oils, I learned that the Egyptians were some of the first people in recorded history to have used aromatic essential oils and to have documented them really well. And documentation dates back to 4500 BC. Frankincense, sandalwood, myrrh, and cinnamon were actually a form of coin. And instead of money, you could exchange frankincense, sandalwood, myrrh, any of these expensive spices and oils. They were quite often exchanged for currency, but they could also be traded as currency. There are over 200 verses in the Bible that mention the use of essential oils and fragrant incense. And there is also many references to essential oils in a lot of ancient texts. So the Quran also mentions essential oils quite a lot, frankincense, sandalwood, thyme, oregano, salt, and herby oils as well. They've also been used extensively in beauty treatments, food preparation, religious ceremonies, maternity, and medical practices historically. Cleopatra was one of the ancient queens of Egypt, and she was renowned to have flawless, beautiful skin. And part of her regime was bath milk, as well as using frankincense essential oil on her skin. So a little bit about our founder. This is a little bit about Gary Young. He's the founder and CEO of Young Living, but having met the man, having heard him speak, he is so much more than what you would expect a normal CEO to be. This guy lives and breathes essential oils, and this is why we are so passionate about sharing his vision, which is to get essential oils into every single home, because he is so passionate and he is so well researched and so well studied that we just can't wait to take his vision and his passion forward to people all around Australia. So in 1982 to 1988, Gary studied biochemistry, hematology, anatomy, and chemistry, among other subjects, under the guidance of medical doctors. In 1985, he became a nutritionist with a master's degree, and he later went on to become a naturopath. He realized that essential oils were so much more than a fragrance, and it became his goal to reintroduce essential oils to Western culture to help us improve our health and wellness. His journey really started when he was left wheelchair-bound as a result of a logging accident. Natural therapies, including essential oils, helped him make a full recovery, and he then became very passionate about sharing that part of his journey with people all over the world. In 1992, he established Young Living, and in 1994, the business model and the focus became delivering products that work. And 20 years on, he has built an amazing empire, and we are so excited to be a part of it. A little bit about Young Living as far as our quality assurance program. This is what sets us apart. Gary says, if you don't know your seed, you don't know your oil. And the more I learn about essential oils, the more I realize how pertinent and how true this is. And this is the gold standard. This is what sets us apart. There is, if you don't know that seed that goes in the ground, because it's so much more than just buying a bag of seeds from the supermarket, getting some soil, whacking it in the ground, watering it, and hoping it grows. There is so much more to getting a pure essential oil than that. And I have bought many essential oils since being on this journey from all over the place. If I see one and I've got a bit of spare cash, I will buy it, because I love to bring it home and to smell them and go, oh, that is so bad. It's definitely contaminated, because my Young Living oils are so clear and so crisp, and they just smell beautiful every time, and they're consistent. So that all starts with the seed, and only the best seeds, heirloom, species identified seeds, are chosen and planted at the correct time for each individual plant to give you the best essential oils in the world. The second step is to cultivate. The seedlings are planted and harvested at the appropriate time for each plant. So there's 170, I think, oils in our range. About half of them are singles. Every single one of those oils needs to be planted at a different time. It needs to be harvested at a different time. It needs to be left out to dry for a different amount of time. It needs to be distilled for a different amount of time. So it is such a science. So much more goes into this than just cutting off some lavender at the bush, chucking it in a steam distiller, and hoping for the best. So much care is taken throughout this process. Pest control on the farms is completed only using essential oils. And the most important fact there I missed is that all the cultivation takes place for most of the plants in their indigenous location. So Gary told a story about how he took lang lang seeds back from Ecuador and planted them in his local farm in Utah that he's got. And what he did was he got the soil, the temperature, everything perfect. The pH of the soil was exactly the same as what it was in Ecuador. And he took the two oils and tested them and ran them alongside each other. What he found is that the ylang ylang that was grown in Ecuador was far superior to its therapeutic benefits and therapeutic markers than the one that was bought in distilled in Utah and grown in Utah. The reason being that it's very important for these plants to be grown in their indigenous location. You can't just mimic that. You don't get the same product. And if you don't know your seed, how do you know you're getting a product from that goes through that process? You don't. The third step is to distill. Gary has created his stills himself. They're his own personal design. They encapsulate ancient and modern distilling techniques. The fourth step is to test. Young Living rigorously tests all their oils from the moment the oil starts to be distilled throughout the process. They are tested, and they are also independently tested by third-party regulatory bodies. And the fifth step is the seal. So the oils are transported to sterile bottling facilities where they're bottled in a sterile environment, sealed, and shipped around the world. From the time your seed goes into the soil to the time it ends up in the bottle, it will only touch stainless steel and glass. There is absolutely no plastic contamination. And in a world where BPA seems to be in everything, causing cancer everywhere, that is such an important thing also. So now we move on to the actual part of the presentation that you've come to hear about, which is animals and essential oils. So one of the most important points we need to remember when we're using essential oils on animals is that they are sensitive. So start by diluting heavily and use in moderation. Don't just get a bottle of Peace and Calming and douse your cat in it. That's probably not a good idea. It's good to keep in mind that every animal is different. So carefully observe how your animal responds to oils. Tonight I was putting Peace and Calming on my 3-year-old's feet, and I held the Peace and Calming bottle up to my dog's nose, and he started attacking the air. So he doesn't really like the smell of Peace and Calming. So it's really important to use common sense and use good judgment as you try out different methods. Find out what works for each individual animal that you're using the oils on. It's also important, like with humans, take special care not to get essential oils in animals' eyes, because if you've ever done it, and I've done it with peppermint, it really hurts. So if you do get them, get an essential oil accidentally in the animal's eye, please reach for your V6 or any good quality vegetable oil that you've got. We also use coconut, and just irrigate the eye as best you can with that oil to dilute it. Never use water, because oil on water, oil floats, so it will actually just make it a lot worse, and it won't dilute and stop the pain. Avoid using any high phenol oils such as oregano and thyme with any animals, especially cats. None of these specially designed animal blends that we'll talk about contain phenol oils, but it's also important, as we know, when you inhale essential oils, that does get into the bloodstream. So it's important to diffuse certain essential oils, like Emu Power is one that we use in winter. We just try to make sure that the cats are not anywhere near that when we're diffusing it, because cats have a completely different liver structure. So it's really important to thoroughly research what essential oils you want to use specifically with cats, and to dilute quite significantly with cats, which we'll talk about in a little while. Special caution when using essential oils with cats, as I've just said, because cats are generally adverse to citrus essential oils as well. So one important fact is that size matters. So for smaller animals like cats and small dogs, use 3 to 5 drops, and be sure to dilute to about 80 to 90% prior to application. So for example, for every 1 drop of oil, use 4 to 5 drops of a diluting agent such as V6. And that is so important with cats. If you're going to use essential oils topically, you must dilute, as if they get too much, their liver can't actually process the essential oil, and it can cause toxic reactions in the future. It's not something you'll notice straight away, but it's something that builds up in their system because they can't metabolize and break it down. So it really needs to be diluted to a manageable level that their little bodies and their liver can process the oil. It's absolutely no harm if you adhere to the rules of dilution, but if you don't, there can be consequences. For larger animals like large dogs, start with 3 to 5 drops unless otherwise indicated on the label, and dilution is not necessary. I popped about 3 or 4 drops on my big Rottweiler tonight because he was absolutely going crazy, and I'm trying to settle the kids down, and he's now passed out on the floor snoring. So a 3 to 5 drops is quite adequate on a big dog. For very large animals like horses and cattle, it's important to start with 10 drops unless otherwise indicated on the product label, and dilution is also not necessary. So it's important to remember that you need to start slow. Apply oils to yourself or diffuse to introduce animals to essential oils and help get them comfortable. You can wear oils around your animals. So if you have a diffuser necklace or you put them on your skin, diffuse them in their space, or apply to your hands and let the animal smell them. That's how we introduced our big boof to Peace and Calming. He still sneezes and hates it, but he can tolerate having it on the nape of his neck now. If your animal is jittery or resistant to essential oils, try applying the oil on yourself and sitting near the animal for a few minutes and let them get used to the aroma that way. I also will put Joy, if my cat's being particularly cantankerous, over my heart, and I will just stroke my male cat and let him inhale it off my skin. And he doesn't seem to have an issue with that, but if I came near it with it, cupped my hands over his nose, he would freak out. So topical administration. One really cool thing I learned when I was putting this presentation together is that the hair on an animal is similar to a straw. So it doesn't matter. Don't think that you have to get skin contact when you apply these essential oils. If you've got a dog or a cat that's just going to run away as soon as you come near them with the oil bottle, if you can just drop it on the nape of their neck, the hair will actually act as a straw and suck that oil into their skin and into their tissue. Also, it works similarly when you put on topical flea treatments that you can buy from the vet. That's the same sort of principle. You want to get skin contact with that because you want to get as much of the medication in as you can. But if you don't, the hair will also soak up the anti-worming agents and work the same way. So that's just a way how the vets also use this approach. So once the animals are used to essential oils and they're comfortable, they will respond really well to topical application. So for cats and dogs, the paws are a great place to apply essential oils because, like humans, the paws absorb the oils quickly, they're hardy, the reactions are felt less on the paws. For hoofed animals, it's really good to put the oils on the flank and the spine. So what you can do is you can try rubbing oils onto your own hands and then stroking the animal's fur. That works really well with my cats, and the oil will touch the edge of their hair, the roots of not the roots, the ends of their hair rather, and it will just be absorbed in. For large or hard to reach areas, combine essential oil with V6 vegetable oil complex or in water, and you can pop it on a spray bottle for easier application. The Animal Sense ointment, this is a really versatile product. It can be used on humans as well. I've seen a lot of eczema recipes that suggest Animal Sense. And so you can use it. It's used to seal and protect areas where essential oils have been used topically. So it's a really good water resistant barrier that you can use to keep essential oils on the skin, on the hair. And if you've obviously got a wound or anything like that, it's really nourishing and helps to keep the oils over the wound. So you can use essential oils on animals internally. This is a little guy at the Young Living Animal Convention that they've just ran, and he's having a good sniff of his owner's hand. He probably even had a lick. That is perfectly safe. So some essential oils can be mixed with your animal's food. For larger animals, you can pull out the bottom lip and drop oils directly onto their mouth. I've recently been trialing with our big guy. He gets really excited and he vomits quite often, and also if he overeats, he vomits. So I've been using for the last couple of days, I've been putting a drop of Digees just on under his lip, and I've been putting a drop on there and just seeing how it helps with his vomiting, and so far so good. But I can report back and let you know after we've been doing it for a little bit longer to see if it really is helping his super anxious vomiting and his overeating. But so far so good. So now we'll move on to the products. So Young Living offers a full line of animal-specific products, which we will discuss now. There is the Animal Sense Care Collection, which is a series of 6 essential oils that have been specifically formulated with veterinarians to create an amazing line of products that are safe to use on your pets and can help with every day-to-day care that your pet will require at some stage over their lifetime. There's also an amazing chemical-free shampoo, the Animal Sense shampoo, and the Animal Sense ointment, which is also awesome for humans as well. So the Animal Sense Care Kits gives you control of what goes on your pets and the peace of mind that whatever care is needed, your oils will help regardless of whether your animal is domestic, exotic, large, or small. So the design of this kit and the aim of these treatments is to support the animal through their life cycle naturally. So as chemical-free, just like I strive to be as chemical-free as possible, I also want my animals to be as chemical-free as possible as well. I don't want to go to the shops and buy a Melaleuca-based shampoo for my dog when it's probably full of phthalates, full of full of sodium lauryl sulfate, full of parabens, which is just inevitably going to give my dogs and my cats cancer, which we're seeing a lot higher incidences of cancer rates in animals as well. And you've got to wonder, what are we feeding? What are we putting on their skin? It is just as vital and just as paramount to my furry friends that I love just as much, and they're just as much as part of my family as everyone in it is, that I want to be chemical free with them. The products can support a wide variety of animals safely. It consists of 6 formulated in appropriate dilution for animals, essential oils that is, and the essential oil blends address the most common animal conditions, which we will get into now. So the first essential oil I want to talk about is PuriClean. So PuriClean is designed to cleanse and refresh the skin. All the ingredients in this essential oil are really purifying oils. Myrtle and Melaleuca stop itching. Myrtle is in purification essential oil, and it's really, really, really good at stopping insect bites. So if you've got a painful cut on your animal, you can apply PuriClean and it'll help stop the itch and help purify the area. Palo Santo is in quite a few of these oils, and it acts very similar to frankincense in the fact that it can help repair DNA and it can also help heal the skin, as well as purifying and being antibacterial. Patchouli is very good for the skin. Citronella helps to purify. All of these oils are awesome at purifying, basically. And it's in a base of coconut oil. So the best way to use this is to add 1 to 2 drops to the affected area, or you can use an Aroma Glide roller fitment, and you can roll it straight onto the area. You can also make up a spritz, and you can put 8 to 10 drops in a 1 ounce spray bottle with distilled water and just spray it straight on the area. Neither option works well for my cats. One of my my big Russian blue cat, he had it's all called marshmallow foot, and I was using PuriClean on that, and I was trying to do the spritz. Didn't work. So for him, we found that it was better to use the animal ointment, which did help to reduce the marshmallow foot, and he hasn't had a recurrence since. The next essential oil is Infect-Away. So these first 3 oils that I'm talking about are actually a 3-step process in a cleansing, an infection prevention, and a protective layer of oils that you use if an animal has a cut. So Infect-Away supports a healthy skin barrier. It's full of oils that are very antibacterial and help to protect the skin and help regenerate it. Myrrh is very good at boosting the immune system, as well as Palo Santo again and patchouli. So the same sort of application techniques applies here. You can add 1 to 2 drops to the affected area to support proper healing, and you can also put 8 to 10 drops in a spray bottle and spray it on to the area. The third essential oil is Mend Well. So this is the final essential oil that you can use in this 3-step process, which this oil encourages healing. So it encourages oils that are really beneficial to the skin and repairing the skin. Geranium, lavender, hyssop, myrrh, frankincense, and hinkoi are amazing at repairing the skin, and together it just smells amazing, this oil. The geranium really gives it a real rosy kind of smell. So it's slightly floral but slightly woody. Also very grounding, so it can help calm the animal down as well when you use this in the 3-step process, because it can be quite traumatic when they've had a cut. Horses are renowned for running into fences and getting stakes in their legs and whatever else. This can help calm the animal down as well as protect the skin. The 4th step in this process, if you have it, is to apply either rose ointment or the animal scent ointment to really keep those oils going to work on the skin. So for this one, it's suggested that you use it neat. Of course, with cats, please take care. When I say use it neat, I'm referring to every animal except for cats. So you massage 1 to 2 drops on the affected area, or you can use the Aroma Glide fitment and roll it straight onto the area. We've got a little testimonial here from one of our team members, Chantel. She has a horse, obviously, and she contacted us and she was really worried about what to do when her horse contracted mud fever, which, if you can see on the hoof there on the left-hand side, it's quite red and inflamed. I don't know much about horses, but apparently it's a condition that once it takes hold, it's quite hard to get rid of. And I lent Chantel my animal sense kit and just told her to do the 3-step process. And within 24 hours, there was no redness. It was completely gone, and Babe was back to normal. So that's just one. I think that was just one application. Oh, 2 applications, she said. And the next day, it was perfectly healthy, and the skin had all regenerated. So the oils really are awesome. And if you are listening and you haven't experienced these essential oils, whoever invited you along, if you've seen our link and you'd like to know more, please contact us afterwards, because if you love your animals, these oils are going to change their lives. Paragize. So Paragize helps to promote healthy digestion. All the essential oils that are in this one, as you can imagine, are great for the digestive tract, and they're also anti-parasitic. So they help with any parasites that may get in the animal's digestive system. As animals do eat off the ground, it's very likely and quite common that they do pick up all sorts of bugs in their digestive tract, but their digestive tract is also designed different to humans in the sense that there are different amino acids and peptides and different bits and pieces within their intestines to help break down a lot of those bugs. Every now and then, though, the parasites can take over and you can have worms and all sorts of conditions. Paragize can help you get on top of that naturally. So this is one that you can add to fresh water, or you can pop a few drops under the tongue or in the mouth of the animal as well to help with parasites. The next essential oil is repel aroma. So this helps animals enjoy the outdoors without any annoyance from nasty mosquitoes, sandflies, whatever comes and bites them and upsets them. The first ingredient naturally is citronella, and melaleuca also is a very offensive to mosquito smells. They don't like it at all. Idaho tansy and Palo Santo also help to repel bugs. You can also use this on yourself as a human as well as a natural insect repellent. So how you can use this is to apply it to your hands, and then you can rub it over the coat, and it will sit on top of the hair as well as be absorbed in, and it will prevent the mosquitoes coming and biting your pet. You can also make it in a spritz, and you can diffuse it in the areas where your animals are to prevent any unwanted insects in that area. The last essential oil in the collection is TOA, which I think stands for trauma away. So this helps animals cope with emotional blocks and supports a new level of emotional freedom and joy. So a lot of people who rescue animals love this oil because it helps with the trauma side of things. All the oils in this, if you're familiar with essential oils, are very calming, very emotionally based oils. Tangerine is very good for calming. Valerian is a sleep essential oil. Orange is also very calming. Angelica, Ruta, Helichrysum, all of these oils, including rose, are very, very calming, but a lot of them are also very high in frequency. So if you've got an animal that you've adopted out of a foster situation, you've got an animal that's from a puppy mill, something like that, that you're trying to give them a better life, this oil also really helps to raise their frequency, because a lot of the oils in this are very high in frequency, and an animal that's been exposed to such horrible traumas would have a low frequency, just like we do when we have negative thoughts. Our frequency is lowered. So this oil is amazing for trauma. You can add 1 drop behind each ear. You can diffuse for 30 minutes 3 times a day, and you can also use the Aroma Glide fitment to apply to the bottom of the paws or the flanks. These are my animals. So there's me in the corner with my little girl cat, Misha. There's my little boy, my big boy, I should say, Ned. And you see, Mum and Dad went to the dog's home, and we came home with a Rottweiler without consulting the cats. Now, as you can imagine, there was a little bit of a disaster in our household, and let's just say the cats didn't really want to talk to us, and they were quite traumatized by the whole event. I got many cuts on me because the little girl cat turned into a vicious little cat, and she would scratch and attack and hiss and hated the dog, and it took them a long time to get used to having a new friend around. They still don't get along that well, but to get them over that initial he's not going anywhere phase, I had just ordered the Animal Sense kit, and it arrived not long after we'd got Oscar. So I started putting the TOA on the cats and also on the dog, because he had come out of we're not sure what his history was. We don't know if he'd been abused, but he was from a shelter, and that would be quite traumatic. The 3 of them, especially the change it made in our boy cat, was really significant. Ned just sort of stopped provoking him and stopped trying to attack him. And now they don't like each other, but they just have learned to tolerate each other. So I found this oil to be really, really awesome. Oscar will still get it from time to time. He doesn't like storms. He doesn't like loud bangs. So I will put this on whenever I know there's a storm coming. And it really helps to keep him calm. And I just pop it over his nasal bridge as well as behind his ears. So that's one oil that I've had personal experience with, and I absolutely love it. I have heard from other people in my team that TOA also really helps with any sort of traumatized animals, diffusing it in their space, especially birds. You have to be very careful with how you use essential oils around birds, and diffusing it in their space can really help to calm them down as well. So the next product is the Animal Sense ointment. So this is designed as a protective and soothing salve, which is formulated for external use on animals. So you can use it for any skin irritations, cuts and abrasions, and the essential oils in it is effective but gentle and safe, and it can soothe the pet's skin and any issues they've got without any harmful chemicals or synthetic products. So the ingredients are all listed there. There's a lot of oils that are really nourishing to the skin, but also have antibacterial properties as well. The mink oil, the beeswax, the lanolin, and the sesame seed oil is all very, very thick. So it's quite a thick barrier cream, similar consistency to pawpaw ointment if you've ever used that, but it's a waxy base, so it's water retardant. So it's really important if you're putting this on a horse, for example, that's got access to water, or a dog that loves to swim and you're not going to be able to keep them out of any mud or puddles. This acts as a really good protective barrier to keep the oils in and keep water and other germs out. So what you do is you only need a really, really small amount of this. It goes a long, long way. It's very, very thick. So you apply it to the site of irritation or injury, and it's really important to apply it after you've used the essential oils to help keep them in and to provide a barrier between the environment and the essential oil application site. The next product is the shampoo. I haven't been able to use this yet because every time I go to order it, it's always out of stock. So if you have animals and you want to start using Young Living products and you see this come in stock, jump on and order it straight away. So Animal Scent Shampoo cleans, protects, and conditions your pet's coat without the chemical dangers. So when I look for personal care products for my family, I have become a label freak, and I read every single label, and it takes me forever in the shops. Even though I know what's in the products, I don't purchase any of them, but I just read them and get disgusted about the amount of stuff that is going into our products that is causing cancer. What I love about Young Living is I don't have that problem. I don't need to read the labels because I trust the product and I trust the company, and I know that they have my family's health and wellness at the heart of why they do what they do. And that's no different for my pets. I've read the ingredients in here. I'm happy with all of them. There is no sodium lauryl sulfate. There is no parabens. There is no phthalates. Why would you need artificial scents when we have the most amazing essential oils? All the chemicals that are used, obviously that these are still chemicals that are listed, are all safe. They are well regulated and they're not linked to be carcinogenic in any way. So it's really important that when you're putting it, washing your pet and it's getting on your hands, as well as what's going into your pet skin, is safe for them. The essential oils in this is citronella, so this will work as a natural repellent while the scent stays on the animal's fur. Lavender, lemon, geranium, spikenard, rosemary, which are all blended to gently cleanse, increase luster, and enhance the grooming experience. So that is the shampoo. So that is the end of the presentation. Thank you for coming. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, or you'd like to give any feedback, or you want to know more, or if you've just randomly come across this YouTube and you're like, yes, I want some of those oils, please feel free to send me an email. My email is essentiallyclaire@gmail.com. And we really hope that you found this presentation beneficial. Please share it on Facebook, share it with your friends. Also head over to Facebook and like the OilyLife Team. My name is Karen. I don't think I said that at the start, but yes, that is my name. And if you'd like to contact me, please do so through Facebook or the OilyLife Team. So thank you for coming. Stay oily and keep living the oily life.